Okay, it is the most wonderful time of the year. It's the holiday season, 2024, and I figured, you know what, after about a month straight of uploading nothing but Raid Shadow Legends content, it's high time that I get back to some of these silly tier lists that I like to do, lest anybody start to become under the impression that this is solely a gaming channel, or more specifically, just a Raid Shadow Legends channel. Now, I make no mistake, I'm absolutely that is going to be part of this channel, but, I'm a man of many interests, and one of those things is ranking things on tier scales, especially when it comes to Christmas songs. I happen to have some strong opinions about some of these songs, so let's do it. In order to keep this thing under an hour, I've limited it to just 10 for today. Depending on how this goes, maybe we'll do another 10 in the near future, and another 10. We could do this probably all the way up till Christmas itself, but without going off on a tangent for too long here, let's go ahead and kick things off with Mariah Carey. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know what happened over the last decade or so, where Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas, it has become the punching bag. It is the song that people tend to hate on the moment the Christmas season kicks into full effect, which, let's be honest, happens literally midnight Halloween. Michael Myers goes to sleep. Here comes Mariah Carey shaking her ass and fucking singing about, all she wants for Christmas is you. There's plenty of other Christmas songs. It's not like that's the only one in rotation, but I guess it is one of the more popular of the songs that you might hear on the radio when you're perusing your local Walmart or gas station or wherever the hell. Chances are you're not going to get away from this song. But here's the thing. Is it a bad song? No, I don't think it is. In fact, I'm quite fond of it. Always been kind of quite fond of it. Now, just to kind of be super crystal clear, I was born in 1980. Most of the songs that I have a strong affinity for tend to be of the older variety. Songs that predate my own existence. Songs that I can remember listening to when I was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Right now, Mariah Carey, this song, I don't know when it came out, in the early 90s at some point, 1991, 1992 or something like that. So it doesn't, go back quite as far as like your Andy Williams, your Johnny Mathis, the Alvin and the Chipmunks and all this shit. Right? But it's still, there's a nostalgic itch that it does scratch. And it still exists in a pre-auto-tune era, right? Pro Tools wasn't really a thing. Mariah Carey's voice, like her or not, you can't take that away from her. She's got a phenomenal range, a phenomenal singer. The song is catchy. It's pleasant enough. Now, as far as the lyrics are concerned, she is kind of like eschewing everything to do with Christmas, right? I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I don't need to hang my stockings. I don't even care about any of this shit. All I want is you, right? She's singing to a guy. All she wants for Christmas is to ride some guy's dick. But hey, look, man, you look at the music video and it's Santa Claus. That's who she's after. And the Santa Claus in the video, of course, happens to be her husband, fiance, whatever, romantic partner at the time. Had a Sony Records or some shit. The guy who was behind the song. But whatever. Be that as it may. Is it a bad song? No. Where does it fit? Does Santa love it? Well, being that she and that particular Santa in the video were not able to make things work out, we're going to go ahead and say probably not. I wouldn't rank it up there as like one of the all-time greats, but I would certainly place it firmly within the classic tier. It's objectively a good song, and look, let's be honest, man. Who wouldn't want to spend their Christmas with? Look at not only was she in her prime as far as like a singer and performer, and at the risk of sounding like some fucking dirty old man. I mean, look at this woman. I mean, she was in her absolute physical prime back then as well. But anyway, before I go into territory that I'd rather stray from, let's keep things moving. And next up on the list, we're going to go with Wham! Last Christmas. Now, there are plenty of renditions that have come out in recent years, Taylor Swift being among them, and nothing can touch George Michael, okay? I don't care. I know I probably, again, sound like the old guy or whatever, but, I just mentioned when talking about Mariah Carey that was a pre-auto-tune, pre-Pro Tools. Well, I don't know if it was pre-Pro Tools, but you get what I mean, right? It was recorded in an era in which you actually had to have some discernible vocal talent to be a singer, right? And obviously in the early 80s when Wham released Last Christmas, nothing. It was 100% the case, right? George Michael was a phenomenal singer, and man, when you just listen to the original version back to back with, say, like a Taylor Swift, who I did not put on this tier list because she'd go straight into ass blast territory, but just the newer, whether it's her or not, any rendition that I've ever heard trying to cover this song, it's just not able to capture the feeling, the soul, the heart that George Michael was able to capture when they recorded this song. And again, a lot of that has to do with, the producers and that, maybe a little less to do with the artists themselves, but who knows? I mean, I honestly don't even know if Taylor Swift can sing or not. And a lot of these modern artists, I really don't know. I mean, because everything is so compressed, so produced, so fucking fine-tuned to be that perfect corporate product where you just really don't need it. And anybody can sound like a fucking $1 million, right? That was not the case back in like 1984 or whenever this song came out. Now, am I willing to put this up into Santa Loves It? Boy, this is a tough one. When I think about other, like some of my absolute favorite Christmas songs, the ones that go all the way back, that are just timeless, does Wham's Last Christmas stack up to that? Boy, it's really hard. For now, I'm just gonna put it. You know what? No, it's better than Mariah Carey's. I'm gonna put that right up there with Santa Loves It. It's fucking great. Okay, it might not have quite the same charm as some of the older guys like Sinatra and all that, but it's an original song. It's never been covered to any level of justice. So anyway, moving on. Next up on the list, we got Alvin and the Chipmunks. Whatever that Christmas song. I don't even know the name of the song. He sings about a hula hoop. We all know Alvin and the Chipmunks. This is one that I absolutely loved when I was 5 years old. And I got to be honest, I don't love it as much these days. Yes, it's nostalgic, but I don't know. Alvin, Simon, Theodore singing, doing their thing, and now kind of knowing, for whatever reason, I can't help knowing that it's like a bunch of adults inside of a recording studio and they just speed it up or raise the octave to make them sound like chipmunks, which is fine. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I did get a real kick out of Dave. Isn't that his name? Dave, the dad of the Chipmunks or whatever. Okay, Alvin, he's very good, Theodore. You're a little bit out of key, Simon. And Alvin, that stuff. I got a real kick out of that when I was a kid. Maybe it's lost a little bit of its charm. I still remember in Rocky IV, the scene with Paulie when they're in Russia and Rocky's training, getting ready to fight Drago or whatever, and Paulie's sitting by the campfire or by the fireplace, and he's got his headphones in, and you can hear Alvin and the Chipmunks, whatever the fuck the name of that Christmas song is, and I can't remember. I'm going to put that in yay. Right, I'm not going to rank it up there as like one of the all-time greats or anywhere near that, really, but it is fun. It's cute. Whatever. Who cares? Next up, Christmas Shoes. All right. The Christmas Shoes. I don't even know what new song. Is that the name of the group? Boy, when did I first hear this? I don't remember when it was released, but it was at some point in the early 2000s, I think, is when I came across this for the first time, heard it on the radio, and thought to myself, what the fuck? What a depressing piece of subject matter. Like, the kid, it's a story about a kid, and they made a Hallmark movie out of this or something. The mom's dying of cancer or something, right? Which is exactly the type of theme you want, right? When we're talking about we're getting the family together and we're trying to fucking have some eggnog and be cheerful and, banish the dark, cold winter. Trying to feel warm inside. That's exactly the subject matter you want, is a dying mother. And, there's a kid. The mom's got a kid. some poor kid. Evidently they're paupers or whatever the fuck. And, he decides on Christmas Eve, as his mom is on her deathbed, he's going to go out to the department store and try to buy her a pair of shoes. Why? Because he's concerned that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is going to judge her harshly if she meets him on that night, He's bitching at the store clerk to hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Dad says there's not much time. She could be dead by the time I get home. I'm sorry I don't have the money. And the store clerk's like, I don't know what the fuck to do. And, this guy who's singing the song, our narrator here, can't help himself. I'll help you, kid. And okay, go on, go home to your mom. Whatever. It's obviously, look, man, the first time I heard it, I will admit, I teared up just a little bit. I did. Because when you cringe that fucking hard to the point where you're kind of going into a convulsion and your eyes just squint together that tight, you can't help it. A couple tears are bound to fucking come out. I'm surprised blood wasn't coming out at that point. It was the dumbest fucking lyrical content in a Christmas song I had ever heard since fucking John Lennon, which we'll get to in a little bit. But, jeez, oh, man, I know what they thought. And that's what kills me even more is, that the person who wrote that thought, oh, yeah, this is really going to pull at people's heartstrings. This is really going to teach them the meaning of Christmas. What do you mean? What's the meaning of Christmas? To abandon your dying mother to go to a fucking store and get her some material goods because you think our Lord and Savior is going to be somehow judgmental of her when she gets to heaven? Right? Look, man. I know this might sound like I'm going off on a tangent here, but I remember, I've been married 20 years, all right? And I remember when I first started dating my wife. I remember the first, time I had her over to my place and she spent the night. And I remember the next morning, I wake up and I'm getting ready to take her back home and that. And I plant my ass down on the step and I'm putting on my shoes. And I look over and I see her shoes. And they were so small. She's got a little pair of sneakers or whatever. And, man, I was so in love with my wife, too. She's just such a cute little thing or whatever, right? But I honestly, they could have been clown shoes or whatever. They could have been Doc Martens. It didn't really fucking matter because my wife was beautiful regardless of whatever foot attire she happened to be wearing at that time. All right, now, if I'm big enough to look past something stupid as footwear before judging somebody, I'm sure Jesus is too. So I still, the point, man, I know what they were going for, but dude, did they ever fucking miss the mark? Where does the Christmas shoes song go into, well, we all know where that fucking goes. That is ass blast all fucking day. All right, so next, moving on. Brenda Lee, rocking around a Christmas tree, Brenda Lee. Hell yeah, man. That is, shit. That's up there. That is, that's as iconic a Christmas song as you're gonna find. We all know it. We all love it. Rocking around the Christmas tree. Have a happy holiday. Later we'll have some fucking pie. Shit, dude. You talk about like Burl Ives, Nat King Cole, Dean Martin, these guys that are kind of known for performing some of the biggest Christmas classics. And she had bigger balls than the whole lot of them combined to sit there, go into the studio and bark out the lyrics. Later we'll have some fucking pie.
Later we'll have some pumpkin pie, pumpkin pie, pumpkin pie.
And don't tell me that ain't what she's saying. You Google it yourself. Go back, isolate the vocals. Don't care. It ain't pumpkin pie. Okay? Slow it down. You can hear it.
Pumpkin pie.
And who doesn't love some fucking pie, right? Forget the Christmas shoes. That depressing bullshit. Yeah, man, we want to rock around a Christmas tree and we're going to have some fucking pie. It doesn't matter if it's apple, pumpkin, mince pie, whatever. It's all good, man. It's part of the Christmas mood. This song goes straight into the top tier. Santa loves it. Absolutely. Because Santa loves some fucking pie too. Anyway, moving on from there. Paul McCartney. Wonderful Christmas Time. Now, I don't think it was an article that I read, but I was on social media and I saw somebody posted that, When Paul McCartney did this song, he set out to do two very specific things. Write a timeless Christmas classic and find out what every damn button on that synthesizer that he just got did. And he absolutely succeeded in one of those two things. Unfortunately for him, it had nothing to do with writing a Christmas classic, because this song is objectively terrible. Okay, I'm sorry. And my wife likes it. If she ever hears this, she's going to give me shit. But man, this is an objectively bad song. The lyrical content is bad. The execution is bad. Half of whatever the fuck he's doing with that synthesizer don't even match. Everything's like odd, like I don't even want to say odd time signatures, because it's like a very basic 3/4 beat or whatever the fuck it is, quarter time beat, whatever the fuck, right? And these synthesizers just going ding 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 ding, whatever, right? It's terrible, but it's whimsical. Yes, the lyrics are kind of, whatever, a fucking fifth grader could write them, but that's all right. I mean, there's nothing offensive about it. At least, right? I believe him. I believe that he is having a wonderful Christmas time while he was recording that song. It's just that the most of us who have to actually endure listening to that song are certainly not having a wonderful Christmas time in that moment that we are forced to endure it. But anyway, where does it fit? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to throw that in fucking reindeer turd. Is it the worst? Oh, fuck no. Is it the absolute worst? Does it belong there with Christmas shoes? No, it doesn't. But it is a reindeer turd. Okay, so speaking of Paul McCartney, one of the Beatles here, why don't we go ahead and go with his partner in crime, John Lennon. Now, you couldn't pick two, for the fact that these two guys are two of the biggest names in all of pop rock history. Obviously, the Beatles being the biggest name of any band to have ever existed in the industry, right? John Lennon, Paul McCartney. It doesn't get bigger than that, and you couldn't have two more contrasting songs than Wonderful Christmas Time and Happy Christmas, by John Lennon. And okay, I got to kind of gather myself here, okay, because this one's a doozy, all right, and I know John Lennon. I mean, you love him or you hate him, but a lot of people love him. And I know growing up with, my dad, that was like his favorite band in the world was the Beatles. But I got to be honest, man. I'll just say, George Harrison, great. For whatever good the Beatles did produce, I feel like George Harrison's kind of the unsung hero of that band. But that's for another conversation. As far as this song goes, the sanctimonious tone, I just, for instance, for black and for white, the yellow and red ones, let's stop all the fight. I'm going to repeat that. A Merry Christmas for black and for white, the yellow and red ones, let's stop all the fight. Now, let's stop all the fighting. Nope, can't work because it doesn't fucking rhyme. That's how childish this bullshit is. It sounds like something a fifth grader would scribble on a poster for their social studies project. Okay? It's reductive, it's awkward, it's fucking clumsy. It's like he spent 5 minutes writing this shit, and like 4 of those 5 minutes were spent staring at the ceiling. Okay? It's like there's zero holiday, and it's sanctimonious and preachy. He's wagging his fucking finger, and it's like at the same time you abandon your kid, you cheat on your wife. I don't want to hear this shit from you, John. Right? And can we talk about this? It's zero holiday joy. Most Christmas songs, most Christmas songs are like warm hugs, right? That's how a Christmas song should feel. This is like a cold slap on the fucking face. He spends the whole time wagging his finger at you for not fixing the world. It's like all the while he's sitting on a pile of royalties, probably smoking a fucking cigar, right? Let's face it, this song only gets played because it's got his fucking name on it. Anyone else releases this sanctimonious drivel, it's sitting at the bottom of a fucking bargain bin next to failed Christmas albums by reality TV stars. That's where this fucking thing belongs. Now, I will say, the melody's good, all right? I'll give it that. It's got a nice melody. So if you ignore the lyrical content and how trash all that is, it does have a nice melody. So, Can I put it in Ass Blast along with Christmas Shoes? Or does it belong somewhere else? Well, I gotta say, he kind of does belong up there with his good old buddy Paul. But if I'm being honest, because of how highly regarded Lennon is as like the most brilliant fucking songwriter of all time, and you churn out that trash, that's fucking Ass Blast. He's going down to Ass Blast. All right, anyway, moving on. Elmo and Patsy. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Now, this isn't one that you hear all that often anymore, right? We don't hear this on the radio so much these days. You know, again, when you're out perusing Walmart or Macy's or wherever the fuck, this one's probably not coming over the speakers. But I do remember it from when I was a kid. I remember hearing it on the radio and that and getting a good chuckle, you know, as a kid. It's fun, it's cute, or whatever the fuck, you know. And the lyrical content, when you really analyze it, is like grandma gets wasted at a family gathering, whatever, tries to walk home because evidently she's got like a DUI and can't fucking drive anywhere. Then gets fucking blindsided by some rogue reindeer. You know, Santa got drunk and fucking lost control of his fucking animals. And then he's nowhere at the scene. He split, right? And then, rather than incriminate himself. So it's kind of a funny picture it paints. Where am I going to put it? Shit, man. I don't know. Yay. I think that fits right up there with Alvin and the Chipmunks. Certainly not one of the best Christmas songs ever written, but nowhere near the bottom either. And so far, we got two at the fucking top of the heap. One in the classic category. We got two in the yay. No lumps of coal. We got a reindeer turd and a couple ass blasts. So whatever. We got two more to get through before this video wraps. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with Baby It's Cold Outside. Baby It's Cold Outside by Dean Martin. That's the image you're seeing here. But I don't think he wrote it. In fact, I heard, and I could be wrong about this, that it was actually originally written by a woman. And the whole cat and mouse, it was like... oh boy, I think I'm probably talking on my ass. But, you know, it gets kind of criticized for being a date rape anthem, right? Where this guy's just trying to fucking drug this bitch's drink and get her to fucking stay there with him so he can do whatever he wants, right? But I heard that it was actually written by a woman and she was trying to seduce him. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I don't know, and I really don't care. I could Google it, but I just don't fucking feel like it. It's a trash song, all right? And if it wasn't for Will Ferrell and Zooey Deschanel, I wouldn't have to fucking sit and listen to it, I feel. I don't remember this song growing up when I was a kid. I mean, it's an old song, but I don't remember it. I don't remember having heard it up until Elf. Look, man, all the date rape stuff aside, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all that. I mean, it does seem pretty... Hey, say, what's in this drink? Hey, well, why don't you take your coat off and find out, whatever, you know, right? But there's just one line. There's just one line in this song that absolutely just destroys it. And I mean, I'll be honest. I gotta put it in Ass Blast. I fucking hate it. Gee, your lips look delicious. It makes me fucking want to vomit every time I hear it. It's either the most sleazy fucking guy on earth to say a line like that or some fucking cannibal. Either way, it doesn't belong anywhere near my Christmas rotation song list. Okay, get the hell out of here with that shit. Anyway, finishing things off, Burl Ives, and it's going straight to it, top. Santa loves it. Santa loves it. Have a holly jolly Christmas. All right, I'm not going to go on a whole long spiel about it, but how can you not love it? Again, alongside Nat King Cole, voices like that, Burl Ives is right there, right? And in fact, that'd be a toss-up between the two of them. To me, who is like the personification of the Christmas song voice. But have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there will be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Man, what's not to love, man? The guy's voice, he sounds like Santa himself. Nothing's overdone, right? It's a classic. It's existed before anybody listening right now has been alive, unless you're like some fucking person in their 90s that for whatever reason is sitting here on a oddball YouTube channel listening to some dipshit talk about songs. Yeah, I mean, I fucking love it. Honestly, I mean, if we're talking about like traditional Christmas songs, like the Christian stuff, like Oh Holy Night, stuff like that, well, you know, I don't know. I don't know where this would fit in that conversation. But as far as like the shit you hear on the radio, Absolutely. Burl Ives, have a holly jolly Christmas. Perfect, right? 100%. So there's our tier list for today. And boy, I'm glad I capped it at 10 because we'd be going on forever. I got plenty more in the chamber though, guys. We'll see if I can't get to it. Hopefully, that's one concern I have when you're doing something like this, these copyright concerns, because obviously I want the music playing in the background so we can take a listen to it, but I don't want it to get struck down. I'm not worried about getting demonetized or anything, because God knows nobody's monetizing shit with 130 subscribers. But I still don't want it getting banned from like every other country, right? So anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's for me to worry about after I'm done here in the editing process. So anyhow, you guys have a good day. Thanks for sticking with me all this time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification.